Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star Part 204 based on novel. So let's start. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled and said, "Then I'll wait and see." Thousand Treasure River was a top-tier invaluable treasure, and even most of the masters of the universe couldn't obtain treasures like this. The Primal Chaos City leader was just saying this to encourage Luo Feng instead of actually expecting him to get a top-tier invaluable treasure. "Perhaps you don't know, teacher, but I've already had 2 invaluable treasures," thought Luo Feng, one of which being Force Armor, and its Thousand Treasure Rivers equal. As for Star Tower, it's one of the most powerful invaluable treasures in the entire universe. The Primal Chaos City leader shrunk to the size of Luo Feng from a planet-sized giant. "Luo Feng, there's something I need to ask you," the Primal Chaos City leader said. "But the choice is yours." "Please, teacher," Luo Feng answered. Beside the river and the palaces, they started to talk. "True Yang Emperor is also your teacher, and that's why I need to tell you more about him," the Primal Chaos City leader said gradually and calmly. "As a matter of fact, True Yang Emperor's also practicing on the path of Beast God." "What?" Luo Feng was dazed. "There are a few powerful ones on that path, but they all kept it as a secret," the Primal Chaos City leader explained. "The most talented ones of your generation, like you and Seven Blade Emperor, are all following the path of Beast God. However, Beast Gods belong to Ancestral God School, whose existence is a top secret in the universe, and thus people who train themselves following the path of Beast all keep in as a secret, and so do you." Luo Feng nodded. Only a small number of people knew that Luo Feng was following the path of Beast God. "I told you this because your teacher True Yang Emperor is following the branch of Soil and Space," the Primal Chaos City leader said. "Soil and Space?" Luo Feng said with shock. "The Beast God inheritance token he just obtained was of Soil and Space. You're a smart person, and you must have guessed what I mean." The Primal Chaos City leader looked at the boundless Thousand Treasure River and said, "Seven Blade Emperor got a token from our race before. Given your potential, you'll also get one when you officially become an Undying. On the contrary," he continued, "your teacher True Yang Emperor is not as talented as you. He only became an invincible emperor by training for an extraordinarily long time and getting instructions from other powerful ones within our race. It's impossible for him to get a token from the race. He filed an application before, but the race has never granted him any approval, and thus, he can only earn the token himself. However, the tokens are some of the scarcest resources in the universe, and one can only find them by luck, with which a sector lord can obtain one by accident. But without luck, a universe knight can't find one even if he were to comb every inch of the universe." The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. "The resources in our race belong to all the humans. Although there are countless treasures, they must be granted to the most talented, and it must be subject to all the seniors' discretion. But now, there's a way to help your teacher. I bet you already understand what I mean," the Primal Chaos City leader continued. "You can give the token to your teacher directly. Your teacher is going to the Land of Inheritance now, and it's a huge opportunity for him, as he might become a Universe Knight. He might also fail since he's far less talented than you or Seven Blade Emperor. You two are almost his rivals by such a short time of training. I'm willing to give it to my teacher," Luo Feng answered without any hesitation. He had to pay True Yang Emperor back. "I'll get the token anyway when I become an Undying," he thought. "All I need to do is wait. Once my third body comes into being, I'll become an Undying. However, my teacher has already waited for an eternity. A small time of waiting in exchange for a huge opportunity for my teacher is totally worth it. You've made up your mind already? No regrets?" The Primal Chaos City leader looked to Luo Feng. "No, I won't regret it," Luo Feng said, nodding sternly. "Great." The Primal Chaos City leader nodded. "Now, you'll give the token to your teacher. However, you don't necessarily have to wait to become an Undying to go to the Land of Inheritance. I'll file an application for you. Normally, you'll be granted one after entering the Undying level, but I believe Master of Skywolf will make the news of Blade River Emperor public." "Master of Skywolf?" Luo Feng was dazed. "Yes, said the Primal Chaos City leader. Blade River Emperor is a sector lord. He will definitely let everyone know and will polish the story. Once it's made known, lots of the peak races will have their eyes on you and try to assassinate you. The Primal Chaos City leader sighed. The human race will know, too. Your identity as Blade River Emperor is only known to few, but it will change soon, he continued. I'll use it as an excuse to file an application for the inheritance token for you. Since you're already as powerful as 7-Blade Emperor, you're already qualified to enter the land of inheritance. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled. Although that's a place of danger, it only comes from the competition within our race, as nobody from the other races will dare to assassinate you in the sacred land of Ancestral God School. That's why I think the token will be granted. However, I can't be 100% sure. After all, they're the resources of the entire human race, and all I'm in charge of is the Virtual Universe Company. The seniors might veto it, since only the Undying were able to enter it before. I'll say you're more likely to succeed than to fail. Thank you, teacher, Luo Feng said. He truly appreciated the help. There would still be grudges between siblings. Hence, normally, there were hidden competitions between the 5 powers of the human race. It would be conceivably difficult, as the resources didn't only belong to the Primal Chaos City leader. The more powerful and famous you are, the easier it is for me to apply for the resources, the Primal Chaos City leader said with a smile. He was content looking at Luo Feng. Although he already knew Luo Feng's personality by experience, he was joyful when he saw Luo Feng's willingness to give the token to True Yang Emperor without any doubts. Apparently, Luo Feng knew how to show gratitude. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Blade River Emperor was only a sector lord. The news was like a thunder and shocked all the powerful creatures. It spread like wildfire, and lots of the powerful ones of the human race knew about it within the day. People everywhere in the Hong Alliance city were talking about it. Blade River Emperor is a sector lord. He was able to kill a peak emperor. And now, people are saying he's only a sector lord. How is it possible for a sector lord to be so mighty? It's outrageous. It must be fake. It's real. Both the demon race and the automation race have already found out about it, and they've already offered bounties for killing this Blade River Emperor. If he is indeed a sector lord, why were so many powerful ones unable to distinguish him? The auras between a sector lord and an Undying are totally different. They said Blade River Emperor obtained an invaluable treasure, which conceals his true identity. Invaluable treasure? Blade River Emperor has an invaluable treasure that can even set universe knights crazy. Asterisk 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 asterisk. It was madness. The news that Blade River Emperor is a sector lord and that Blade River Emperor had an invaluable treasure made a plethora of powerful ones jealous. One could tell how tempting an invaluable treasure was by the sound and fury Sealing Star resulted in. If Blade River Emperor is a sector lord, who is he exactly? He's even more unimaginable than the legendary Ku Di. Perhaps it's Luo Feng, as he's the most powerful sector lord of the human race and has already passed the sector lord level Sky Mountain. I don't think it's Luo Feng. Instead, it might be a super talent who has been undercover all the time. And this talent is even stronger than both Ku Di and Luo Feng, and that's why they've kept it as a secret and given him an invaluable treasure to conceal it. Where did all the talents come from? Luo Feng is already the genius of our time. Maybe this Blade River Emperor is one of the most talented of the human race and is even mightier than Ku Di and Luo Feng. I still think it's Luo Feng. It's impossible for such a genius to stay anonymous. Within the boundless universe and hundreds of millions of races, most of the creatures had heard the news of Blade River Emperor. They also knew that Blade River Emperor belonged to the human race, but they couldn't be sure who he really was. Lots of people thought it was Luo Feng because, based on all they knew, only Luo Feng had such potential. Dad, are you the Blade River Emperor? Some of the super families within our Ganwu universe also talk about this Blade River Emperor during businesses. I've heard of some of the news and guessed it was you. In the 9-star bay of Black Dragon Island, Luo Feng was having meals with his family. I also heard of it, Shu Xin said. Don't interrogate me, Luo Feng said. Luo Ping and Luo Hai smiled because their father would have denied it if it weren't true. Dad, you're awesome, Luo Hai said, opening his eyes wide. Remember not to tell anyone, Luo Feng said as he glanced at his sons. We know, said Luo Ping. We know how serious it is, Luo Hai answered with excitement. Although Blade River Emperor was yet to become the most powerful one in the universe, he had already garnered widespread fame, and his name would be in history forever. Wasn't that what they wanted? Fame? This is only the beginning of my rise, thought Luo Feng. I'll only become stronger since I'm on the edge now. And the demon race, you'll lose in the end. Inside, the ancient Chaos City was peaceful as always. 3 purple messengers were walking on the street and reached True Yang Emperor's house. It's the purple messengers of the primal Chaos City leader. The purple messengers are here. The most frequently seen messengers normally wore black. Some of the students in True Yang Emperor's house were startled, as they'd rarely seen the arrival of purple messengers. They knew something significant had happened. Go, tell the teacher. After only a short while, True Yang Emperor came out and greeted them himself. He was also baffled. 3 purple messengers are here, he said. 1 black messenger is enough, normally. What's the point of sending 3 purple messengers here? Congratulations, True Yang Emperor. The tallest messenger laughed. Congratulations. The other 2 purple knights laughed along. Why do you congratulate me? Come, sit inside. True Yang Emperor led the 3 messengers into the hall, and several students served some wine and fruits. They left after duty, as they knew they were not supposed to meddle with some major issues. That left only the 3 messengers and True Yang Emperor in the hall. It's such great news. The tall messenger beamed and brought out a metal box. What's so mysterious? True Yang Emperor took and opened it. There was a hexagonal stone tablet inside, on which was sculpted a roaring beast god. True Yang Emperor was dazed, and his hand started to tremble. He picked up the stone tablet, and his eyes turned red. He caressed this tablet as if he were worried that it was a phantom. His voice faltered as he said, Beast God Inheritance Token. It's the Beast God Inheritance Token. For such a long time, practically forever, I've always wanted it. True Yang Emperor's body trembled. Now, I've finally got the chance. Finally. He was stuck at the last step for what felt like an infinite amount of time. Although the token could help him greatly, it was almost impossible to get one. The tokens were extremely rare in the universe, as they represented the most special inheritance of ancestral God School. Perhaps there were only a few of each type of the tokens within the human race, and the race needed to prepare for the potential peerless talents in the future. The tokens would only be granted under few circumstances. He couldn't make the final breakthrough if he didn't get the token. It was indeed only one step, but it was like a chasm, separating countless emperors from universe knights. Thank you, Primal Chaos City Leader. True Yang Emperor kneeled with excitement. Thank you, seniors. I'll strive to become a universe knight and live up to the expectations. Please, get up. The tall messenger helped True Yang Emperor to his feet. The race rewarded with a token. True Yang Emperor was thrilled. It's not from the race. It's from your student Luo Feng. Luo Feng? True Yang Emperor was stupefied. Yes, your student Luo Feng, the tall messenger continued. I was serving the Primal Chaos City leader in the Primal Secret region. The Primal Chaos City leader asked us to come here directly and give this to you. As for Luo Feng, he's still with the Primal Chaos City leader in the Primal Secret region. How did he get the token? True Yang Emperor suddenly had complicated feelings. My student was also following the path of Beast God, and he could certainly trade this token for another. Why did he give this to me? No matter how close the relationship between the teacher and the student, the powerful ones would do everything in their power to improve themselves. Giving the insignificant ones to their teachers could be regarded as gratitude. True Yang Emperor, you have a great student. We won't stay for long, as we need to go back and report, the tall messenger said. We'll escort ourselves out. The 3 messengers left. True Yang Emperor was both exhilarated and anxious. Even though he had desired the token for so long, he felt like it was too much. Asterisk 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 asterisk. True Yang Emperor connected to the virtual universe and sent 10 emails to Luo Feng before coming to Luo Feng's manor in Yuseong Mountain. Luo Feng, True Yang Emperor shouted, which baffled all the servants and the guards. Teacher. Luo Feng soon got out of the hall. Come with me. True Yang Emperor grabbed Luo Feng and entered the hall. True Yang Emperor couldn't wait to yell, "Where did you get the token? Did you get it from our race? Don't you know how important it is to you? You're following the path of Beast God yourself. How could you just give it up and hand it in to your teacher? I'll be restless knowing you've traded your future for mine. And you know if I can't be tranquil, I might fail even if I enter the land of inheritance." Please relax, teacher, Luo Feng said. I got it myself instead of getting it from my race. You got it yourself? True Yang Emperor was startled. It was not so easy to get one. Once other powerful ones found it, they would use their godly power to penetrate it and discern how important it was. Usually, they would just hand it in to their race. That was how most of the tokens were held by the races. It's true. I obtained it by myself. Luo Feng said. Just think about this. I gave this to you in the hands of the Primal Chaos City leader. If I actually got it from our race, the Primal Chaos City leader wouldn't allow me to do so. That makes sense. True Yang Emperor nodded his head. The Primal Chaos City leader won't let you be reckless. Just use it now, teacher, Luo Feng continued. It's not difficult for me to get a token from our race. You'll definitely be valued by our race based on your potential, and you're more than qualified to get the token. Even the Seven-Blade Emperor, who is less talented than you, could get one. True Yang Emperor nodded his head and frowned. However, you need to become an undying to get the token, and that's going to take a long time. Please don't worry about that, teacher. Luo Feng smiled. Did you forget that I'm Blade River Emperor, teacher? I'm already powerful enough to get one, and the Primal Chaos City leader will file an application for me. He told me that it would succeed given his presence and my genius. True Yang Emperor sighed. The Primal Chaos City leader is the ruler of the virtual universe. Okay, he'll definitely succeed. Luo Feng, I've benefited so much from you. It was a piece of cake. Luo Feng beamed. Deep in the primal secret region, the Thousand Treasure River surrounded the stars. Luo Feng was sitting on top of one of the palaces and looked at the river from afar. He thought back to what the Primal Chaos City leader had told him. Luo Feng, this is the date when we'll know whether you can get the token or not. If it fails, you'll have to wait until you become an undying. I hope it can succeed. I will succeed, said Luo Feng as he sat on the top of the palace with his legs crossed. Land of inheritance, the sacred place of ancestral god school. How exciting. Time passed. Luo Feng was growing anxious from waiting. However, he knew that the seniors from all the 5 powers of the human race were negotiating the decision. Could they make an exception for Luo Feng? Could Luo Feng succeed? After a long while, Luo Feng heard a peaceful voice. Luo Feng. Luo Feng turned around and saw the Primal Chaos City leader holding the rugged stone stick. Luo Feng's heart missed a beat, as he knew the meeting had ended and a decision had been made. Luo Feng stood up and greeted him. Teacher. The meeting's over, the Primal Chaos City leader said. I can tell by the look on your face how concerned you are. Rest assured, because it's good news. The application was approved, and your identity as Blade River Emperor thrilled the masters of the universe of our race. They all think highly of you, and thus I don't need to put forth too much effort. Luo Feng was overjoyed. He didn't believe what the Primal Chaos City leader said and was certain his teacher had pulled lots of strings. Thank you, teacher, Luo Feng said. I won't fail you and the other masters of the universe. Just don't fail the human race. The Primal Chaos City leader burst into laughter. The token will be sent to you in 2 days, and I've already told True Yang to come to the Primal Secret region to meet with you. You'll go to the land of inheritance together. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng was cheerful. The human race was efficient, and the token arrived after only 1 day. Beast God Inheritance Token. Luo Feng started to examine the hexagonal metal tablet in his hands. There was a single horned lizard sculpture on the tablet, which was the beast god of Blood River World. However, it was not as distinct as the one Luo Feng had gotten before, and it did not contain any lore. How marvelous the metal is! I've never heard of it. Luo Feng caressed the tablet and penetrated it with his spiritual force. The information struck his mind. It was the same as the one before. They even had identical coordinates. True Yang Emperor took off from Primal Chaos City immediately after Luo Feng told him the news and arrived at the Primal Secret Region on the same day. Inside the transportation center of the Primal Secret Region, Luo Feng was dressed in black armor and True Yang Emperor in gold as they departed from their spaceship and landed on the boundless expanse of the Primal Secret Region. Here, many transportation channels had been built for the purpose of godly kingdom transportation. Creatures here didn't need to fear the risk of discovery. "Teacher, we're far from the land of inheritance," Luo Feng said. "Do you have the coordinates of any nearby locations?" "The closest is 1 billion light-years away," True Yang Emperor said. "That far?" Luo Feng was startled. A distance of 1 billion light-years would take them a whole year to cross. "One of my servants has some coordinates. Maybe we can cut down on the journey by half a year or so." Luo Feng waved his hands, and a barbarian creature covered with scales appeared. It had a purple membrane on its face, and its appearance drew the attention of many powerful warriors in the area. Murmurs went up among the crowd. "It's True Yang Emperor. How is it possible that True Yang Emperor left Primal Chaos City? He actually left. Then who is the one with him? The man in the black armor? Could that be Blade River Emperor? Everyone says Blade River Emperor is Luo Feng, and we all know Luo Feng is a student of True Yang Emperor. This black-armored man standing with True Yang Emperor. Can you feel the force emanating from him? It could be Blade River Emperor concealing his wings." None of these individuals made any efforts to lower their voices. They deliberately let Luo Feng hear them in order to observe his reaction. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor looked at one another. "They're quite astute," True Yang Emperor said, speaking to Luo Feng telepathically. "Your reputation precedes you. It's not surprising that they've guessed it," replied Luo Feng. "Others already have. And rumor has it that my invaluable treasure is the silver wing. Besides, there are only so many powerful individuals within the human race, and everyone knows each other. It's little wonder that an earthling whom they have never seen before who suddenly shows up with you, of all people, is the subject of suspicion." "You're in big trouble," True Yang Emperor teased. Luo Feng shrugged. It's not necessarily bad to be famous." He turned to his servant and said aloud, "Perform godly kingdom transportation." "Yes, master," said the barbarian servant. It started the transportation process immediately. A flash of aqua-blue light surrounded Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor. In an instant, they saw a boundless world at the other end of the light. It was the godly kingdom of the barbarian race. Luo Feng, True Yang Emperor, and the servant all vanished. They soon arrived at a quiet place far away from the territory of humans, a star in a remote region of the universe. "Disguising a ship as a star," said True Yang Emperor. "Your servant is very interesting." "There are infinite stars in the universe," replied Luo Feng. "The perfect disguise for any object." The teacher and the student flew out to the blinding surface of the star-like object. "How fast can your ship go?" True Yang Emperor asked. "In the dark universe, 72 times of the speed of light," said Luo Feng. He sighed. "I had one that was 10% faster, but it was taken away by a universe night." "Ah, the Green Knight," said True Yang Emperor with a nod. "How reckless you were to tangle with him." They had spoken at length in the Primal Secret Region, and True Yang Emperor had naturally asked Luo Feng how he had acquired the token. Luo Feng had briefed him without divulging certain important information about the events pertaining to his situation with the Blue Knight. "I have a ship that's 90 times light speed," True Yang Emperor said. He smiled at the look on Luo Feng's face. "Finally, I have something to be proud of." 90 times light speed? Luo Feng was shocked. True Yang Emperor waved his hands, and a streamlined, shuttle-shaped spaceship appeared in the sky. It shone with lustrous golden plating. "Master," came an elderly male voice from the spaceship. "You're finally using me. I haven't flown in the dark universe for years." "This is a metal life form," True Yang Emperor explained. "I haven't let him out since I first arrived at Primal Chaos City. Come on, let's get in." The door opened, and Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor entered the spaceship. As soon as they were aboard, the ship surged forward, and they entered the dark universe, increasing to light speed in an instant. The ship's speed kept increasing after entering the dark universe. 89 times, 90 times, 91 times. "Oh, it can't go faster," the metal life form within the ship said joyfully. Suddenly, an image of a cute girl appeared on the control panel, and the ship's voice changed from that of an elderly male to a youthful, energetic female. "Master is finally adventuring again. I have been so lonely." Luo Feng, in the middle of a sip of wine, promptly spat a mouthful all over the floor. "Where she come from?" True Yang Emperor glared at the control panel. "Hey, weren't you an old man before?" "It's been hundreds of millions of years," squealed the metal life form. "Is it really so surprising that I would transform?" Luo Feng burst into laughter. "Teacher, let's face it. Who among us wouldn't change a little over hundreds of millions of years?" True Yang Emperor shook his head. Interstellar travel was a boring affair. The scene outside the ship never changed, and life within the ship went on almost as unchanging. Initially, Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor exchanged some pleasantries, but after getting drunk, they both went back to their cabins and started training. At 90 times light speed, it would take 4 months to reach the land of inheritance. Inside the cabin, the body of the Mo Sho clan was present while the original Earthling body went back to the internal world and started to practice 9 Calamity Tome. Inside the internal world, on the boundless prairie, Luo Feng looked at the golden horned beast from afar. "It's the third metal of 9 Calamity Tome," said Luo Feng, filled with delight. "It really is a lot." The first 2 metals he had gotten before only provided him with the tomes of the first, second, and fifth calamity, and he lacked the tomes for all the other calamities. However, the third metal offered him the tomes of the third and fourth, thus, Luo Feng could practice 3 tomes consecutively. "The first calamity makes my genes 3 times stronger, and the second makes them 6 times, he said. "The third, 12 times. "The fourth, 24 times. Luo Feng looked at the golden horned beast from afar. During the past 2,000 years spent in Ice Hell, the golden horned beast had already accomplished his goal. However, Luo Feng realized there was an issue. The golden horned beast's genes were 10 times stronger than those of humans. And now, after finishing the first 5 calamities of the 9 Calamity Tome, the golden horned beast was 480 times more powerful than humans. It was outrageous to even comprehend. Not even Docus or Silver Eye were more than 100 times stronger than humans. 480 times. Unbelievable. Luo Feng sighed. "That means when I become an undying knight, I'll become 100,000 times stronger than a sector lord, while the beast can become 48 million times stronger. Many of the special life forms are not even that mighty. Special life forms generally had genes that possessed 100 times greater potential than those of humans, and even the weakest special life forms were 10 times stronger. A small number of special life forms were 500 times more superior. Only a rare number of them could be 1,000 or even several thousand times finer. The more superior they got, the rarer they were. There were quite a few Docus, whereas Beast Gods and Mountain Sitting Guest were one of a kind. I figured out before that the more superior one's genes are, the less effective Blood River is," said Luo Feng. The force of Blood River could make its right hoof 100 times stronger and its entire body 10 times stronger. However, it's not omnipotent. It can strengthen humans and golden horned beasts, but can it enhance beast gods? It is, after all, the essence of the blood of beast gods. The function of the force was obvious when the genes were at a low level. However, to individuals like Mountain Sitting Guest, it might provide 0 benefit. The golden horned beast had been practicing the 9 Calamity Tome for a long time, and it was already as powerful as a special life form. When the beast exercised the force again, the effect was significantly smaller. "The right hoof of the beast is still stronger," said Luo Feng, but it's only twice as strong as the entire body. Luo Feng recalled that it had previously been 10 times mightier than its body. Clearly, the strength of the right hoof could not be improved further. Neither the fourth calamity nor the fifth couldn't improve its strength, as it had already reached its limit. Once the force is exercised, the constitution of the golden-horned beast's body will be 1,000 times stronger, Luo Feng mused. That's rare even for special life forms. I suppose I should be content. I'll keep practicing. No wonder 9 Calamity Tome may only be born by the Sky Soul Crystal. Only one is qualified to practice it. Luo Feng became more and more powerful by practicing during the course of the journey, and the true power of the tome gradually showed. 4 months later, Luo Feng heard True Yang Emperor's voice calling, "Student. Student. Come out. We're arriving at the land of inheritance." Luo Feng smiled eagerly. The land of inheritance. Inside the control room of the spaceship, Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor were looking at the outside through a virtual scene. One gale after another blew everything they touched, as if they were pythons playing among the stars. This is the legendary ancestral god secret region. True Yang Emperor was amazed. The ancestral god secret region is one of the most dangerous secret regions in the universe, Luo Feng said with wonder. It's the same size as a universe country, and dangerous areas are everywhere. Even universe knights can't manage to survive it. There were various levels and areas of the secret regions. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor would certainly research the region, as they had known the coordinates. They were startled to find out that the land of inheritance was located in the ancestral god secret region. As a top-tier secret region filled with hazards and ordinary dangers that could kill a universe knight. In some extremely risky areas, even masters of the universe needed to be careful. Its diameter was 160 million light-years, and it took 200 million years to travel in sublight-year speed. One might need to start the adventure from the birth of the universe to pay the entire region even a cursory inspection. Besides, no one dared to do that. Mysterious. Dangerous. Off-limits. These were the words that best described the ancestral god secret region. One of the most common things in this secret region is Heichong Whirlpool, said True Yang Emperor. Even a small whirlpool can severely injure a universe knight. And a large one can kill them for good. Look. Those are the Heichong whirlpools ahead of us. There are more of them at the back, said Luo Feng. True Yang Emperor turned around and saw a whirlpool that was billions of kilometers long running through the stars. If the whirlpools at the front were like pythons, and the one at the back was hundreds of millions of times mightier. True Yang Emperor was stupefied. This is the Heichong whirlpool at the periphery. Only the one at the outer right is so enormous. We've arrived, Luo Feng said and nodded his head. The spaceship slowed down and stopped. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor flew out. Among the stars were the Heichong whirlpools chasing each other. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor stood amongst the stars and looked at each other. Where is it? Luo Feng said, frowning. I can't see the land of inheritance. Just wait, True Yang Emperor said. Suddenly, the space twisted and sucked them in like a series of swirls. Teleportation, said Luo Feng. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor thought of this, and everything became clear. They were still both standing in hollow space, but the scene afar was breathtaking. The colorful river was running, emanating a mystical power that was highly enticing. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor both possessed strong wills and realized something was wrong. Quick enough, they heard a cold voice say. They turned around. An 8-meter-high rock undying stood in the hollow. He was dressed in a fiery armor and was green like an emerald. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor realized he was of the Fei Kang clan, one of the rock creatures. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor were shocked, as they hadn't realized anything else was here. It's a universe knight, Luo Feng thought. Only a universe knight can teleport without letting us recognize it. Even I can't sense it, True Yang Emperor thought, surprised. I'm the guide of Ancestral God School, the knight said. Give me the token, humans. Or you'll die with it. Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor both felt like they were trapped in a fire, and Luo Feng felt like a boat adrift, lost at sea. The guide of the school? He thought. There were gods, beast gods, deified generals, and prophets within the school, and prophets were the weakest. They were merely as powerful as the weakest universe knights. However, this creature of Fei Kang clan emanated a force that was irresistible. Teacher, is he a general? Luo Feng asked mentally. It should be, True Yang Emperor answered. They took out the tokens anyway. The tokens are rare, the knight said with a smile. No wonder the human race is one of the top 6 races. Sending 2 people with tokens at one time is impressive, indeed. Come with me. The knight was flying with Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor aside. Do you see that? The knight pointed to the dreamy and colorful river. They both nodded. Come and look at it closer. The knight teleported them to beside the river. This is. Luo Feng held his breath. It was no river, on the contrary, it was composed of auroras of 5 different colors. He could still see the river shape from afar, whereas he could only feel its boundlessness standing beside it. Is this the 5-color aurora lake? True Yang Emperor asked, thrilled at the idea. You do know something, the knight complimented him. Yes, it is indeed the 5-color aurora lake. A lake. Luo Feng was bewildered and trying to look to the end of the river. Of course, it's a lake, the knight explained. You see it as a river only because you're standing on the same level of it. However, if you fly above and overlook it, you'll see a circular lake. This lake has a diameter of 10 light years and is almighty. One aurora can severely injure a universe knight, and it's constituted by countless rays of auroras. It's one of the most forceful, invaluable treasures in the universe. Both Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor were dazed. Even one aurora was this powerful. This lake is the guarding invaluable treasure of the ancestral god school, the knight continued. Who will dare to trespass with such an invaluable treasure around? One of the most powerful invaluable treasures? Guarding invaluable treasure? True Yang Emperor sighed. No wonder the ancestral god school is the first power of the universe. Luo Feng recalled his star tower instead. There were countless auroras on the surface of the lake, and together, it served as the guarding treasure of the ancestral god school. The spiral of the star tower, which was made up of ceiling stars, was also precious, and together with the heavenly pillar, the star tower was also one of the most forceful invaluable treasures in the universe, according to mountain-sitting guest. What an eye-opener for me to see the 5-color aurora lake, True Yang Emperor said. It's lucky enough for you even to take a look at an invaluable treasure of this level, the knight said, a bit proud. There's another invaluable treasure of this level, Star Tower. That's something that can't be moved by literally anyone, and lots of the powerful ones in the universe still don't know the tower's real power. Star Tower is also one of the most powerful invaluable treasures. True Yang Emperor was shocked. It seems you don't know everything. The knight shook his head. Star Tower is one of the easiest to see but also the most mystical invaluable treasures in the universe. Nobody's been able to figure out the mystery behind it, and nobody can take it away. It's been standing there forever. I'm done talking, and I'll take you to Borhinia Island now, said the knight. With that, he teleported. *****************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************�̀ They were only a few hundred meters away from it. Each of the auroras was around 10,000 kilometers long, and its force made Luo Feng and True Yang Emperor shiver. Did you see that? The knight pointed to the deep of the lake. That's the Borhinia Island. What? Inside the lake? They looked in that direction. They could indeed see a blurry island, dim among the auroras. Come in. The knight flew directly inside. Go in. Even though the auroras are forceful? True Yang Emperor couldn't help asking. Rest assured, this is one of the most powerful treasures in the universe, and it won't hurt anyone it recognizes, the knight said. You both have the tokens, and thus, you'll both be fine. True Yang Emperor looked at Luo Feng and said, Student, I'll try first. And then he touched an aurora with his hands. The aurora encircled his arm like running water without attacking him. The knight didn't say anything after seeing this. He had seen how careful and distrustful those heirs were. Let's go, True Yang Emperor said. Yes, teacher, Luo Feng said and followed him into the lake. They felt like they were marching in a real lake, and the auroras comforted their bodies. The island became larger and larger as they approached it. "This is Borhinia Island, where your beast god heirs will reside on," the knight said just before they reached the island. "And this is the margin of the lake. This video will end here.